Welcome to another episode of Drunken Ramblings of a Sober Mind. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Garrin.
And today's episode is going to be about us.
Yay! Right out of the gate, fuck the haters. All right, resume.
Oh.
That's the disclaimer this week.
Right, yeah. If you don't like us, eat a bag of dicks.
It'll be all right.
All right, so the reason we're
Shut
doing
up,
the reason we're doing an us episode is because I kind of dropped the ball on our research.
It's been an intense week in our defense.
It really has. Union's been on strike and... Yeah.
Do you use work at the docks?
Dude, I totally no, and no shit. Jamie was making fun of me the other day. I mentioned it, and she started singing that. She goes, "Oh, what are you, like a Bon Jovi? What is it, Bon Jovi?
It's Bon Jovi.
Yeah,
living on a prayer.
Yeah. Well, that's been me for the last 5 weeks, living on a fucking prayer. But we have this to keep me sane. So
absolutely.
The reason I say this is going to be an us episode is because Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't even started drinking.
No shit. I just literally opened mine. So the reason it's going to be an us episode is basically because we're going to talk about some paranormal stuff that we have gotten into, beings that it's the month of the dead, the damned, if you will. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's so dirty. So we're going to, just kind of ramble on as usual. And ooh. Nice. You didn't get it all over the bar this time. Appreciate it.
Or my face.
And we're going to carry on. Where exactly should we start? I grew up in a haunted house. Believe it or not, some people believe in haunted houses, some people don't. I grew up in one, and my grandparents told me and my mom and my aunt and whatnot that we were crazy. My uncle doesn't believe in it, but he's a guy of sorts. So love you, Uncle John. But the reason I kind of wanted to touch on this is because here a couple months ago, my wife actually started going to they would call them paranormal investigations, which I was kind of interested in, but I got pushed to the wayside. But because she's doing her thing, so she goes out and does her thing and whatnot. And she got real serious with it real quick. She started hooking up with a group called Riverside Iowa Paranormal, or RIP. They're treating her real good. She apparently really likes it, and she's been minding her P's and Q's and leaving to go do the investigations, and she's really excited about it. So,
where all has she investigated?
She's been out to Atchison, Kansas. She's been to a couple places in Iowa because this organization is located in Riverside, Iowa. So they kind of all around Iowa. They've gone to different places. She's been everywhere from right up by Des Moines all the way up to close to Iowa City and places like that. And through her tenacity, if you will, she also got hooked up with an organization called the Warren Legacy Foundation for Paranormal Research. So they're pretty serious. The Warrens, some people thought they were kooks, and some people thought they were just crazy as hell. But
if you need a backstory on the Warrens, check out what is it, The Conjuring? That's what
kind of. I mean, it's Hollywooded up.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
You got The Conjuring, Annabelle,
Insidious, right?
No, I don't think Insidious was theirs. You also had Amityville Horror. The Warrens go on and on. That rabbit hole is deep.
Yeah,
very deep.
Not because she just passed. Was not a fan of Elizabeth Warren. Oh, wrong person. Ooh, Lorraine. It still stands, but Lorraine?
Yes, Lorraine Warren.
Very good.
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Like, that time she name-dropped Jesus was really weird for me. If you check out the Amityville documentary, where the DeFeo. No, it's not the DeFeos. It's the Lutzes.
Oh yeah,
The
the family
Lutz's
after
kid.
the DeFeos.
Yeah, she was sitting there talking. I almost pissed myself because she's like, okay, so check this out, and the interviewer's like, what? And she pulls out this little tin box, and she slides it open slightly dramatically, and she's like, check this out, and it looks like a toothpick. She holds it up, and she's like, this is wood from Jesus Christ's cross. And the chick's like, oh, that's fascinating. Did you have that with you when you went into the house? She goes, no. And then she puts it in the tin, shuts the tin, puts it away, and the interviewer's like, okay.
How old was she then? Was this just recently?
It was. She was up there. She was up there. I just thought that was really weird because she just threw Jesus like he's his home, like he's her homeboy. That's what I was trying to say. But I'm not a fan of her just because of that. I thought that was really weird. And I mean, I don't know how much dementia came into play there.
Right. Well, she was like 40 in the 70s, so I think she was pretty old when she passed.
I'd still smash.
Jesus Christ.
Anywho.
Oh my God.
Going back to the Warren Foundation.
That takes knocking the dust out of her. Never mind. Yeah. So I mean, but
I'd
the Warrens.
those wrinkles.
God. This is why nobody listens to us.
Absolutely.
All right, but the Warrens. I mean, if to non-believers, of course, skeptics, whatever, you're not going to believe. It's kind of like with my uncle. He didn't believe the stuff that I seen, that my aunt seen, my mom seen. My grandparents never seen any of it either. But I mean, to say that it's not real, I mean, that's not really fair. That's not really fair.
Prove it.
Right.
Prove it's not real.
Right.
Prove it is real.
Exactly.
You can't prove shit.
Well, it's like religion. Everybody's like, oh, well, how come you can believe in, an entity that you've never seen? It's called faith. Okay, well, how can you have faith in a religion but not have faith in, different things? Everybody has their own beliefs and blah, blah, blah. Some people believe in Bigfoot, and if you say anything bad about them, they'll fight you.
Yeah.
Of course, they got about 4 teeth, some are teeth. Some are here, some are there.
Got a bathtub full of that good back home.
Right. I mean, look at... oh, yeah, by the way, how did that, the invasion, if you will, of Area 51 go?
For fuck's sake. I was really hoping that was going to be on pay-per-view. I was like, yes, invade it.
Right. Well, that's another one of those things that, you either believe in it or you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I've looked up and seen some weird shit in the sky, and I'm like, carry on.
Well, it's kind of weird. I'm on the fence on whether or not if aliens obviously exist. We're not the only life in this universe. That's very egotistical of us to think that, we're the only sitting in beings here.
The Bible says. Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, but should the government really tell us whether or not aliens exist? Because immediately, you saw the memes, somebody's going to go clap alien cheeks out of the gate.
How do you know we're not already?
I don't have an answer.
Right, because there's been so many TV shows where like aliens are already among us and whatnot. I mean, we could have slapped. We could have been slapping alien cheeks ourselves.
We could have been knocking out that booty.
Right. I mean, one of my kids could be an alien. I don't fucking know.
That one.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, should they tell us?
Precious. I don't know. Yeah. So
this one's not about. We do need an alien segment though, where we talk about space and shit. That's in the works. We've discussed this at length.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Oh my God, that man is.
If I ever meet him,
I'm going to shoot it on his leg. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Absolutely.
I'm like,
we need to warn him before he comes here. Like, yo, you're going to be walking away with
your jeans are going to be starched, bro.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Your jeans are going to be starched with my jeans, if you know what I mean.
Giggity.
I have dope bars. New realization. Anyway.
Right.
So, back to the paranormal segment of our reality.
Okay, so we've had some paranormal stuff happen between us because
Absolutely.
we were young and dumb and, hey, look, there's a cemetery and it's dark as hell and we're
In
going
our
to go
defense-
drinking. And
In our defense, we just went up there to drink in private.
true story.
At first.
Well, and we could have picked something a little bit farther away to drive to. I mean, most kids go to a park or whatever, or they find a country road, and that'd be the most logical place to drink. But no, fuck that. We're going to the cemetery.
Absolutely. And we probably shouldn't mention what cemetery it is, should we?
No, I'd say not.
Yeah, probably not.
'Cause
Probably not.
it's-
Well, because that other thing happened. I don't want to get caught up in that shit because that wasn't us.
Yeah, that was not us.
This cemetery, like when you go there, we didn't hang out in the pristine landscaped section.
Yeah, the pretty spot.
Yeah, it wasn't the pretty spot. If you kept going on this road, you went through some trees. How did you even, in retrospect, how did you even know this place existed? Because you can't see it from the road.
I thought you took me there.
There's no fucking way.
What?
Yeah, I don't.
Bro,
I've been in Blue Springs off and on for like 30 years now. I still don't know where the fuck I am.
Oh, okay. All right. So, okay. You guys ever had that moment when you're looking at your buddy that you've been friends with for fucking ever, and you're trying to figure out which one of you led the other one to water, if you will, but you can't remember who? Yeah, we're having one of those moments.
Yeah. I don't want to fucking pin divine intervention on this or anything, but like
That is an
you
amazing.
didn't know.
That's an amazing Slayer album, by the way.
Yes, it is. If you didn't know it was there, and I didn't know it was there, it's not like there's a neighborhood right next to it even.
There is now. Behind it.
But
it was a weird place. Like, we went out there one night, and I'm gonna date ourselves.
Ooh.
So we go out there one night, and we seen off to the east. We seen a storm, but it was weird because remember that shit? It had like red lightning, and it looked like the lightning was
the
red.
Red lightning night.
Yeah, and the storm was coming west, and we're like, whoa, hold up, that ain't. We done pissed somebody or something off. We got to get out of here. So we kept hearing like a thumping sound in the distance. So we're like, well, fuck this. We're gonna get out of here. So Garrin had a probe, and we tied a pretty good one on, and I was about the soberest-ish person out there. So apparently I became the DDD, designated drunk driver, for those of you playing the home game.
If you're keeping score on statute of limitations, that one's passed.
Right. So we're in this 96 probe, and
you remember the year of my probe?
Yeah.
I
bought it for you, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You're welcome.
He's not
for
wrong.
Wrecking that truck. Okay, so the cemetery where we were at, it was like a teardrop. So we had driven around the teardrop, and we were getting ready to drive out through the pristine area, and I kept hearing that thumping, and it kept getting louder. So we get in the car, and I had a pager at the time. Here's the dating.
Yep.
I had a pager, and the pager started going off. Well, the pager was turned off, and so we were kind of freaking out. And I'm like, hold up. So I turned the car off, and I listened, and then all of a sudden, underneath the car, you hear thump, 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 and I was like, oh, fuck this! That car
gone, dude.
Yeah, I didn't know a probe could spin all four tires, but it did.
Now I have a theory, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that we went up there and we drank a lot. And we were going up there for, I believe, a hot minute.
Yeah, we went
before
up there quite a
anything
while.
weird started happening. I think it started. There was, and I'd like to go back up there and get the name on that tombstone. But do you remember that big son of a bitch?
The one that was in the Iron Gate?
Yeah, there were a shitload of those old-timey, barely legible headstones from like the 1800s there. But there's this one that was big, and there was something weird about the tombstone. Like, it didn't give the full name or something.
Yeah.
But it looked newer, and it was inside a gate and a fence.
It was an iron gate around it. So, I mean, if you do any kind of research on paranormal, iron usually holds in or out evil spirits or whatever. So apparently this person, man or woman, whichever, or whatever gender he claimed, they fucked up because they were trying to keep their asses in there. And then there was like 3 or 4 little graves, like little itty bitty graves, because they were real close to each other. So I think they might have been like kids' graves or something.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
and we went up there, and I remember there was an incident where we had opened the gate and just walked in to check out the tombstone, but then we didn't shut it when we left.
Mm-hmm.
And
we did, that was before the Red Lightning Night.
Yep. And we had weird things, the red lightning, the bumping in the cars. We'd have conversations up there where me and Jimmy are balls deep in a Marilyn Manson conversation and how, he's this, that. And we're really getting into our Saturday night discussion where this whole podcast was, at the time, unknowns to us.
Unbeknownst.
But that's where this shit originated from.
Saturday night?
Yeah. But there'd be times where we're just talking and we're going back and forth like we do. And all of a sudden we'd both shut up. And we would look in a direction and be like, what? And like there was no noise.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was really weird. Like all of a sudden it's just like...
Yeah, we both turned and looked like there was a noise, but I'm like, "Did you hear anything?" And Jimmy's like, "No." I'm like, "Me either."
Did you hear it? Because apparently we heard something.
Yeah, but what's going on over there? And we're like looking in the trees, like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, because at the time there was nothing around it except for the cemetery itself. It's on a pretty dark road. It's really a kind of creepy road. Because if you go past the cemetery, because if you go past the cemetery itself, the trees grow over the top of the road. Which, it'd be kind of, it'd be nice. It'd be a fancy, nice little road to drive down with a lady or, whatever, except for the fact that it looks
situation.
Right. It just looks like a good place to get raped, but, whatever. Tomato. I mean.
And I remember us panicking at one point, and I don't even remember what the final straw was. And then we started talking about it. We're like, okay, hold on. So you got this tombstone, you got this fence around it. We left the shit open, and nobody else goes up there.
Well, somebody did because they knocked that tombstone over.
That was after we shut the gate, though. Because remember, we made it a point. It was like 4:00 in the morning. We're half hammered. We're like, nah, let's go back and shut that gate. It was probably a week later. And then we went out there and we shut the gate. And there was no time, honestly, to see if that even worked. Because the next time we went back up there, some little punk-ass kids. And now me and Jimmy and everybody we know, pretty respectful punk-ass kids. We'd go up there. We don't fuck with shit. We didn't
litter either. I mean, we didn't just leave our trash everywhere. We
you'd never know we were there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And we got up there, and this tombstone, somebody drop kicked it or some shit. I don't even know.
But that thing it had brick, and I mean, it was
sturdy.
Yeah,
it had to have been 6 inches thick.
Yeah, that's what she said. But it was. I mean, it was a big fucking tombstone. It wasn't just, a slab of granite or whatever the hell they make it out of.
It wasn't casual.
Yeah, it had brick and so then the people that knocked it over, I mean, they had to put some ass into it. And it's not like you could get a car in there. I mean, because it was inside an iron gate. So, yeah, that was some weird shit. Weird times. And then after we stopped going there, remember the shit at Mom's house after Uncle John died?
Yep.
Okay, so Uncle John, he lived with us for a couple years, and he was a good guy. He was
worked for the CIA, didn't he?
Man, I don't.
Dude, that dude, he came out of the bedroom once. He's like, "Hey, Garrin, come over here for a second. Let me show you something." I'm like, "All right, what's up?" And he's got the computer pulled up, and he's like, "Check this out." And it's just like the back of my head. And I'm like, what's going on here? I turn around, he's got this lipstick camera. Now, at the time, when did Uncle John die?
Right before Trenton was born, so 2004, 3?
Yeah, this lipstick camera, for the time, was way you couldn't just go to Best Buy and buy the shit. It was petite. It was a petite camera. It was that one, like, I want to check this chick out in the bathroom while she pees. I'm going to put this up in the vent type bet. What?
Okay, keep going. Maybe, well... Are you saying the man was a pervert, or was he CIA? I mean,
I think he was CIA. I don't think it was in your bathrooms. He was, or else he probably wouldn't have showed me.
That's just really weird.
You have the deer in the headlights look.
Yeah, that's just fucking weird, because he...
Did you not know about this camera?
No.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oops.
What do you mean, oops?
Oops. Maybe
Motherfucker, what do you mean, oops?
Maybe he saw me peeing and was like, hey, what's up? I've seen this
That's
shit.
why he wanted to show you his lipstick
You know why they call me
what I mean.
Uncle John, right? Let's go to the tool shed and get a little wink, you know?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, squirt, squirt.
Maybe we should have put a disclaimer on this one in retrospect.
We'll do it here in a minute.
Yeah, fair enough. So anyway, back to Uncle John.
All right. So Uncle John, he had, what was it? He had hepatitis C, and he had a couple of health issues. So he needed constant health care, and my buddy and I took care of him for a couple of years, and then he finally passed in February of 2004. So when he passed, when he was still alive, if he needed any help or, he needed anything, because he was kind of bedridden there for the last couple of months, he had to knock on the wall. So whenever he would knock on the wall, we would, just kind of answer him, or we'd yell down the hall and be like, what do you need, Uncle John? And he would just, he would holler, hey, I need such and such. And okay, you give it to him. And then 20 minutes later, you hear him knock on the wall again. And okay, Uncle John, what do you need? And he's like, well, I need this. So after he passed, which was fucked up because I heard him take his last breath. That was brutal. That hit me right in the feels, not going to lie. So when he passed, it was probably, month later, and we started hearing the knock on the wall. Mm-hmm. It was just a thump, thump, thump. Like, what the fuck? Hold up. This dude's...
Now, before that, hearing a knock on the wall from the pink room didn't mean shit.
Until Uncle John lived there.
Yeah. If there's a knock from the pink room, you know what's what. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Mikey in there with...
who are you? Oh. Making the beast with two backs.
Nice.
But yeah, that was... Hearing the knock was very unsettling.
Right, and I mean, it happened for a couple years after, too. You'd hear the knock, and I don't know, it was weird. Because you would hear the knock and you would get like cold breezes in the hallway and whatnot.
I remember something about a bell. Didn't he have a little bell at some point?
No, there was a bell in the room.
Maybe that's every horror movie I've seen in this almost exact situation.
Right, creepy as hell. Well, that was like last night. My little girls. It was about 9 o'clock. The lights had been turned down, and then my son's yelling. He's like, "My sisters are scaring me. My sisters are scaring me." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then I hear, la, 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 la.
Shut your
I'm
mouth.
like, no, hell no, stop now. Oh, this is how little
Susanna,
kids.
Wasn't it?
No, it was the littlest. This is how motherfuckers get kicked in the face.
Yeah.
Because Hollywood has demonized small children. No, hell no. Yeah. So yeah. So after Uncle John passed and whatnot, and then, we heard the knocking and we had the cold spots and whatnot. It got quiet. So that kind of subsided and that went away. It was just weird, man, because you knew he was gone, and it wasn't just me that heard it. It was, you heard it,
yeah.
Mom heard it, everybody heard it. You sitting in the living room watching TV, and all of a sudden, the fuck was that?
Yeah. You know what it was. Oh, yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah, you did. And that's when you're like, oh, let's turn on every fucking light in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I don't know if you ever went out to that house, that girl I dated out in Green Valley. Did you ever see the light out there at her house? Or is it just Piggy? Pigman.
I think it was Piggy.
Okay, so this girl and I are at her house. It's like 2 a.m, and we've been sitting in the dark for probably about 45 minutes. And
were your pants on?
Probably not.
Fair enough.
So we've been sitting in there for about 45 minutes, and all of a sudden, my back is to the front windows, and I'm looking because I'm sitting on her couch, and I'm looking towards the hallway that goes down down to her parents' room. And all of a sudden, this little, just like it looked like the end of a pin, little white light was just floating along the ceiling up towards, or on the wall up by the ceiling.
Was this double C?
Yes.
Okay, got you. Go on.
Yeah. So I seen it, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm. She's like, you see it too? I'm like, what the hell is it? And I am literally looking for every logical explanation to this. I am looking. All the doors in the hallway are closed. This light went back down the hallway. Everything in this hallway is closed. There's no the curtains. Everything is closed. It is black. I mean, it is straight up black. And this light went back down the fucking hallway, up above her parents' door, and gone. It fucked me up. I'm like, what the hell was that? She goes, I don't know. So about a week later, it was a week later, I took Pigman out there with me. We sat down at the end of the hallway because, it opened up from the hallway into the living room, had a big ass living room. We sat in the living room right where the dining room started, and we watched down the hallway. We sat there for 45 minutes. We were just sitting there, we were talking real quiet, and all of a sudden, here comes that fucking light. It comes out from her parents' room and all the way down at the top of the wall by the ceiling. It came all the way to the fucking living room and then turned around and went back. I was like, hey, you see this? Because he thought I was nuts.
And we're done.
Right. Like, I've got to go. And then she's like, yeah, my mom, she feels weird things around the house all the time. She feels something like pinch her butt. And I'm like, well, your mom's got a cute butt.
She's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I've encountered some weird stuff, and that's not even including the house that I grew up in. I mean, that show's weird.
I remember you telling me stories about Virginia.
Yep.
Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
And going back to our beliefs, we don't know what is out there. I just know that if this is the only consciousness that I'm going to have, why is it now? Why wasn't it in the 1800s? Why wasn't it, and there's so many theories and so many different things, but I'm not sure if I believe in sentient spirits, but like maybe more like playing a VHS, the, what's it called? Echo theory? Yeah. I don't know. I'm on the fence on a lot of these theories.
See, that's like one that they say that spirits are just a kind of like a flashback of the past. It's just a memory. Well, whose memory?
Yeah.
Is it that person's memory and they're still in the now, like they've reincarnated and they're having that memory subconsciously and don't even know that they're having the memory, and it just reoccurs over and over and over again? I mean, like with Uncle John, it happened for a couple months and then it stopped.
Well, like, okay, when you think of a VHS tape, I just started thinking about this while we were talking.
Like if you record over it?
Yeah. How does that work? Is it a magnetic sort of... Because you could sit there and re-record the shit, and it's not superimposed or anything. But like...
They fucking superimposed me.
They fucking superimposed us.
What the fuck is superimposed?
Yeah. But like, what if materials can do that? Like Uncle John's knocking. I mean, he had to have done that, 200, 300 times?
Easily.
Yeah. And that's not even breaking a sweat.
A day. It was crazy.
So what if the material had recorded?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's out there. I do know that the stories that you were telling me about Virginia Beach were fucking malicious.
Yeah, I'll get into that here in a minute. I figured we'd cover the
That
stuff
light, breezy stuff first.
Right,
Like,
right.
this is kind of cool. Check it out. Oh,
yeah, there's a light
fucking
coming down the
Amityville
hallway.
Horror.
Yeah, exactly. It's, because I've never seen a spirit here. Oh, no, wait. Totally forgot.
Those were mice.
No. Dick. No, when I lived out there in Independence on 42nd Street. Okay, so we were out there, and it was a split, is one of those duplex that as soon as you walked through the door, you had stairs that went down to the basement and stairs that went up to the living room, kitchen, bedrooms, all that shit. Well, I spent most of my time in the basement. It was a finished basement. It was awesome. I had a wet bar down there.
With
I
him?
had, yeah.
Okay,
So
the one that I know which one you're talking about now.
Yeah, out in behind Tim's Pizza.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, I spent most of my time in the basement, and I had a lot of we had a lot of fun there. Her and I, we had a blast. When we were good. Then we weren't so much anymore. So, but I stayed in the basement most of the time because that's where the bar was. I got home from work. And
basement was on point, though. You
Yeah.
had bathroom.
Yeah,
I mean,
there was a bathroom. I had my dartboard out in the garage right there.
it looked like a small mini apartment because I had to stay there a couple times.
Yeah, it was like 30 fucking feet long, about 15 feet wide, 15, 20 feet wide. It was pretty.
I couldn't tell you what your upstairs looked like.
Right, exactly. Well, I most of the time slept downstairs too. We crashed on the couches or whatever. But so there was a night that we had people over drinking, and the scrawny little bastard that I used to hang out with, he come downstairs and he goes, "Hey, is Em home?" I'm like, "No, she'll be here in about 10 minutes." She went with Chris to go get beer. They went because the gas station was 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
So they went to go get beer before Beer 30, and he goes, "No bullshit." He goes, "Don't fuck with me." I'm like, "Dude, where the fuck would I hide her at?" So he starts looking around the basement, the garage, and then he opens the garage door and they pull up, and he's like, "What the fuck, dude?" He goes, "I was in the kitchen and I just watched somebody walk into the bathroom." I'm like, "Fuck you, dude. No, you didn't." He goes, "Yeah, somebody just walked in the fucking bathroom. I seen it." He goes, "It was out of the corner of my eye. I seen somebody walk in the bathroom." He goes, "I walked in there and I turned the light on. Nobody was there." He goes, "I turned on your bedroom light. I turned on the second bedroom light. Nobody was there." I was like, "All right, dude, you kind of freaking me out a little bit, but whatever." So, Chris, him and I, we split some chili. We made this super fire ass hot chili. And I was like, all right, man, I'm kind of drunk and ready for bed. And the girlfriend at the time, she's like, "All right, well, let's go ahead and go to bed." She goes upstairs and she comes back downstairs. She goes, "There's something up there." And I'm like, "What do you mean there's something up there?" She goes, "I feel something up there. There's something, I don't know what it is. I can't explain it." I was like, "Okay." And I told her about what the other guy had said. She's like, "There's something there. I don't know what it is." I was like, "All right." So I went upstairs and I just, the fucking hairs on the back of your neck stand up and you get that cold chill. I felt it too. And I'm like, "Nope." Back downstairs I went.
Negative.
We're not going to play this game today. So I go back downstairs and everybody leaves and she's like, "All right, well, let's go to bed." And she's like, "Let's sleep upstairs." I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah,
how about we don't?
Yeah, I'm going to tuck these away because they're not here right now. It freaked me out. It really, truly did. So finally, I go upstairs and I turn every fucking light on. I mean, bathroom light, second bedroom, the living room. I turn every light on. So when we go to bed, I go upstairs, I turn everything off in the basement, and I kind of work my way back to the bedroom. I turn the kitchen light off, the living room light off, second bedroom, bathroom, hallway, into my bedroom. And I felt it, dude. I had cold chills. I was like, "Oh, shit, what the fuck is that?" So my mom had bought me a digital camera, because this is, 12, 13 years ago? My mom had bought me a digital camera. So, and the girlfriend's like, "Just figure it out. What is it? What is it? Look out there. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to look out there. So I open the bedroom door, literally just stick my hand out, and I take a picture into the living room. Well, the living room in the corner, I had a recliner and then a couch right next to it. In that recliner, there was a shape of a human sitting in the chair.
Jesus.
Yep, I looked at the picture, I slammed the door, and I was done. I was like, I want out of here. There's somebody sitting in that recliner looking at us. Done. I slept in the basement the whole rest of the time we lived there. It wasn't happening.
Jesus.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that till just now. Fuck that place.
All right. Well, that's uncomfortable. We're starting to heat up a little bit now.
Yeah, that one was a little bit warmer.
Yeah, a little warmer. So me and Shelly, we go to Colorado for a vacation. So you're hanging out with your boys in Colorado the other day. So we go there, and we're in a cabin in the woods, right? Like a log cabin situation, pretty decent, very cozy. When you go inside, it's got a fireplace. It's got the wood lining. I mean, you are in the woods. And me and Shelly are sitting there talking. We're like, how do you feel about Ouija boards?
Right.
Shelly's like, we're in the heart of, like, we're right next to where Columbine is. Okay. I would love to get a Ouija board right now. I'm feeling that shit. So we're like, okay, where do we go to get a Ouija board? Barnes & Noble, ladies and gentlemen, if you were ever fucking wondering, Walmart doesn't sell the shit. But the geeky, green-haired, weird, tattooed, piercing-faced kid at Barnes & Noble directed me right to him. So, there we are in the woods with the Ouija board. We're going to have some fun. And we set it up, we get it going, and it's good times. And, you know, we do the whole thing where you activate it. Can't remember off the top of my head how you activate it per se.
Gotta say hello.
Yes.
Start with hello.
We get nothing for the first 5 minutes but gibberish. Okay, it's just X, A, R, B, just kind of gibberish. And we started asking it more questions and shit. And,
oh, it's really zoomed in. I was wondering what.
yeah.
It's like, wait a second.
We started asking him more questions. And, you know, how old are you? And it like goes to like 9. It's like some basic age where you're like, oh, okay, so you're having problems communicating. Because, you know, when you're doing a Ouija board, you want to believe that's why you're there. You know, you want to get scared, you want to get freaked out. Okay, we go ahead and cancel out of this transaction because nothing's making sense.
Did you say goodbye?
Yeah, we did that.
Okay.
There's
There's actually directions to that game. Didn't know it.
yeah.
Didn't read them when I was fucking 12.
Oh, hell no. So we started up again. This time it's more aggressive. And by aggressive, I mean like, you know how you lightly touch it and you start questioning whether or not it's working? Yeah, there was none of that. The rate of speed that it had to have been traveling, you could have seen the white on somebody's fingertips if they were pushing it down. I mean, because it was zip, 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 hard, fast, and going, and it's like, you know, we're asking questions, and I'm not gonna bore people with the questions because we were asking basic questions, and at one point it's like, stop. It goes to S-T-O-P or something similar, and then it tells us to like get out, and we start kind of. Okay, by we. I'm not gonna mince. I've dealt with murderers. I've dealt with rapists. Me said stop. We need to go. I'm kind of done. because it got hella just angry. Now, just going back to elementary school, we learned about Newton, right? And Newton's
Which is
first
a crock
law.
of shit as well.
Huh?
What they taught you is a crock of shit.
About Newton?
Yeah, with gravity and all that.
I thought he discovered it.
Oh, well, what they say is the apple fell out of the tree and hit him in the head. No, he watched it fall. I mean, what are the chances of you actually... You got to be in the right place at the right time for an apple to fall and hit you in the head.
Well, I mean, they also said, like, who was it George Washington that couldn't tell a lie? I cannot tell a lie. Chopping down the cherry tree, or was that Abraham Lincoln?
Well, he didn't chop down a cherry tree either.
No.
The story was his father gave him a hatchet, and he went out and cut down the cherry tree, and he confessed to it. Yeah, it's all bullshit. It's just like people don't understand. He wasn't actually. I mean, he was the first elected president after the Constitution was indoctrinated. If you
We
will.
don't count
Or
any
not
of that shit that
indoctrinated,
happened
but
before. Fuck that.
Yeah, the 12 guys that had been in charge before them. Yeah, they don't count. Fuck those guys.
Well, Newton's first law dictates, of course, that an object at rest must stay at rest until otherwise acted upon. And vice versa, an object in motion has to stay in motion unless otherwise acted upon. Now, we have been dicking with this thing for a hot minute. I mean, a while.
Right.
Now, I brought my laptop, and I had set my laptop case up against, it had like an island for the kitchen.
Right.
And I had set it kind of cockeyed, to where it,
Cockeyed.
Gravity dictates that it will stay there, not fall over in a space that we could step on it, because that would suck. And we're sitting there, and this thing is getting mad aggressive. And I'm like, I'm about to call it quits. And Shelly's like, this is what we paid for. She's getting mad at me because I'm acting like a bitch. I'm like, oh, let's not. And I mean, like, we asked it another question. It shot straight to goodbye. Like, it was done with us. Like, no, fuck you, dude. Me, being tenacious, keep asking questions.
Right.
You don't get to tell me goodbye, motherfucker. I have to tell you goodbye. So this is my stand. I'm like, no, man. All right. We paid for this ticket. Take the fucking ride, right? So why are you so angry? Why are you like a girl? Like, why are you mad at me, bro? Like, why are you mad? It's not moving. It's not coming off a goodbye. I'm like, oh, do I have to restart it? Somehow, my laptop case just decided, after sitting at rest for 6+ hours, because I set it down when we first got there.
Right.
And then we went to like Barnes & Noble and shit, and then got it, set it up, started drinking a little bit. After 6 hours of remaining at rest, it just decides that Newton's first law isn't for it. And it falls over. And I looked over, and like at first I didn't know what it was. I just heard the... And I'm like, okay, and we're done. And I was like, okay, and I did the sign out technique, whatever it suggests. I'm like, okay, and then I like folded up, and Shelly's like, what the fuck are you doing? You are in this. You are invested. I'm like, I'm a bitch. I can't.
That's a cool story. You should tell that at parties, bro.
And then I found $10.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot more fun if I could remember the questions, but I blocked it out of my brain after that fucking laptop case fell.
Colorado will do that to you.
No, unfortunately, I had to take a drug test when we came back or whatever.
But being all responsible and
yeah. So, but funny after story. When we were packing up to leave, I'm like, this thing's not gonna come with us because fuck that. What should we do with it? So we packed it in its little case, and we put it in the closet.
Nice.
Top shelf, pushed it back a little bit so that maybe or maybe not, the cleaning lady would find it.
She didn't find that shit.
Oh my God, I hope she didn't, because I want whoever walked into those motherfuckers to like open the closet to put their jacket up I'd be like, oh, a Ouija board. And then they fucking checked out the same day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's hot.
So, now, Virginia Beach.
All right, I'll get to the heavy story. I think we only pretty much got time for one good one. All right, so the house I lived in Virginia was fucking old as hell, 200 plus years. The original family, I mean, this is how old the house was. It was an old plantation, and because it still had slave quarters out back.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it had the slave quarters. It had, like 59 acres. Yeah, it was old as fuck. So, and the original people were buried right in the front yard. There was a driveway that went between the house and the cemetery. That was always fun as a child. It was overgrown when I was growing up, and got curious, and I went in there to find tombstones, headstones, if you will. That's always great.
You went in there to find
headstones? Yeah. So finding that at 5 years old, that's great. So, my mom joined the military, and we went over to Sicily. We were there for a good couple years, kindergarten and first grade over there. And she was trying to transfer to New York City, so I got sent back to Virginia with my grandparents. So I was there for an entire year. Well, I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but sometime in my year of spending that quality time with my grandparents, I got to see something that I never wanted to see or never want to see again.
Your grandmother naked?
Oh, sorry, I got a little in my mouth. I got a little in my beard. I got a lot in my beard.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Taste it.
Dude, it's almost as bad as your mom with a horsetail. That's so hot.
Hey.
Yeah, that explains a lot. All right, so back to the story.
Yeah.
Go
on.
So this house, it had been built on a few times. So you walk in this house, and you can go left or right. If you go to the left, there's a big-ass living room, and then you keep going, take a right. There's a kitchen, dining area, goes out back. If you go to the right, there's a big-ass living room area, dining room, and then another living area behind that as well. Or when you walk through the door, you go straight up the stairs. So it had an open staircase, had the banister that went around it. So you go to the top of the banister, or go to the top of the stairs, and the banister, like I said, wraps all the way around the staircase. So just straight to your left, there's a bedroom. Straight ahead of you, there's a window. And you take a right, and there's stairs that go up to the attic. Go past the stairs to the attic, there's a bedroom on the left that goes behind the stairs, and then there's another bedroom, and straight ahead is the bathroom, and then you go to the right at the top of the banister is my grandparents' room. So I was in the bedroom that was behind the stairs to the attic. So, what was it? It was probably 2 o'clock in the morning. It was cold. I mean, this house had no central air, central heating. I mean, we had kerosene heaters everywhere. So you could kind of see in the dark, but not really, because the kerosene, the glow from the kerosene lanterns kind of lit it up.
Which just adds to the ambiance, honestly.
I'm telling you what. So I walk out of this room, and it's dark 30. I gotta pee, so all I'm doing is going straight out this door and to the left, straight to the bathroom. Well, catty corner straight across from me is my grandparents' room. It's, like I said, probably 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what's going on. I'm just barely awake, trying to go take a piss. Just take a piss before, have an accident. So I look towards my grandparents' room, and I see what looked like my grandfather. But it was dark. I couldn't quite see him, but I could see like a figure. It was a dark figure. So I yelled to him, I'm like, Papa, is that you?
Papa, can you hear me?
Right. Do you want to build a snowman? So I'm looking over there, and I'm like, Papa, is that you? And nothing. So I start walking towards the bathroom, and I look, and I could see through him. He's there, but he's not there. And next thing I know, he jumps over the banister, scares the shit out of me. I run straight to the banister to look over because I think my grandfather just jumped over the fucking handrail. And I looked down, nothing. I didn't hear anything, and nothing hit. Nobody was there. I opened my grandparents' door, and my grandfather was God rest his soul, because fucking man was a saint. But he's a loud ass snore. I mean, sucking the paint off the ceiling kind of snore. And he was there, and my grandmother was there, so I went straight to the bathroom, straight to my room, and I don't think I ever came out of that room ever again at night. I go in that room, I'm done. Because that's the same room. I guess I could throw another one in real quick. But
quick question: you said this is an old plantation house.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to that here in a second.
Do you think that are there people buried on that property?
Yeah,
Kind of thought so.
In the front yard, all the people that lived there originally. Well, because I told that story after my wife and I first met. We first got together. I was actually telling that story. I was at my mom's house on the back porch because she has a pool. Of course, we were using her pool and hot tub. So we were sitting out back, and I told that story, and my mom's like, "Where did you hear that from?" I'm like, "That happened to me." And she's like, "Well, I think it was the 1930s or 1940s. A man hung himself off of that banister."
Jesus.
Yeah. So, like you said earlier, I don't know if it's, a memory or it was an actual spirit or whatever. But that house was all fucked up because I stayed in that same room my 8th grade year. Between my 8th grade year and freshman year of high school, I went out there because that was kind of a rite of passage, or my parents just didn't want me around.
Take a pick.
Right. So they sent me out there for the entire summer. And all the rooms had fireplaces in them because, the house is old as fuck. That's how they stayed warm. So, but the fireplace was boarded up, and, it was summertime. So, basically you slept with the windows open to get any kind of cool breeze you could get. Well, I slept with the door closed, and it had one of those old school latches, those latch locks that have, the hook.
Swivel.
That hooks on, and then it had the little latch that it was a spring underneath. So you literally had to pull the spring back to lift it up to open it. So I'm in this room, and I'm on a queen-size bed, and there's a comforter on it. Huge comforter. I mean, this motherfucker touches the ground on both sides, the bottom, and the bed sat like 3.5 feet off the ground. I don't know why I had a bed that high, because my grandmother's only 4'9". She'd have to jump to, or get a step ladder.
A frying pan.
Fuck yeah, she can. So, and then in the corner there was one of those. Remember those old wicker chairs, the like the bowl. Yeah, I had one of those. Well, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, my TV starts coming on. I thought I rolled over on the remote. Didn't think nothing of it. I just reached over, turned it off. Came back on, turned it off. Came back on one more time, I turned it off. Rolled over. It may have turned on again. I don't know. I went back to sleep. So I wake up in the morning, and I'm freezing. I am just fucking cold. And I can't figure out why. So I sit up. My comforter is in that chair folded.
Fuck me.
Yeah. I was like, now, I have never, to my knowledge, ever been a sleepwalker.
Dream folded blankets?
Right. I've never dream folded a quilt that's,
I've never even awoke.
Right. I don't even like folded blankets.
Some shit.
Right. I'm trying to pawn that shit off on somebody else. But yeah, that house was all fucked up. I had shit like that happen to me a bunch of times. So, yeah, that's why I was trying to get into paranormal stuff with my wife, but she's doing her thing. All right, you got your thing, I got our thing. We podcast.
Speaking of our thing, we're probably going to do another one of these next week. We've got to celebrate the Halloween, son.
Yep.
Best time of year, honestly, subjectively, whatever. And then, if y'all are interested, we're going to be fucking around with a Ouija board.
Needless to say, not at my house, because my wife has already threatened all of us.
We got vetoed on that one.
There was no veto. There was
There's almost like, I almost got my ass beat.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Murder was the case they were going to give her.
Absolutely. Well, only if they found my body, because habeas corpus. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that body. However, we're gonna do another one of these, and we're gonna talk about some more shit, and then
Gonna do some research this week.
do some research, and then I believe maybe on Halloween, if y'all kids are still up, we might be doing a live sort of Ouija board situation on Facebook or YouTube Live. We're not sure where we're going with that yet, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we're going to slide it right in there.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot.
Probably do some provoking because it's not going to be here.
You guys can keep it there. I'm good with that. So what are you going to do with this Ouija board? You fucking already bitched out on the last one. What are you going to do with this one?
I'm going to talk a game, okay? And then we're going to start really provoking it. Something minor will probably happen. I'll shriek like a girl, maybe shots fired. I don't know. And then I'm going to probably just get up and leave.
You crash in here then?
Probably, yeah.
Right.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, we'll keep the evil at her place.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now, how do you really feel about Ouija boards? I mean, it's
well, okay. Like I'm on the fence.
Because you and Jamie's argument about this the other day kind of contradicted everything you said. Because you said that a game that was made by Milton Bradley or Hasbro or whatever.
So here's the thing: the Ouija board was actually invented in 1890 by Hasbro. And
are we sure about that?
It was called a talking board. Well, it was called the
Spirit
Ouija board. It was a talking board at the
time.
Well,
spirit boards were actually around before that.
Way
because
longer.
Mary Todd Lincoln was really into the spirit boards. And the 1880s is when they really took off. That's when the spiritual movement really kicked in.
Now, I'm thinking, I was at an antique mall and I saw this glass case with a handcrafted Ouija board in it from 1905. That motherfucker, I promise you, can summon the devil. However, if it's mass-produced on a line, Hasbro, ages 8 and up, or whatever, I don't think it could really do anything too malicious. Like, you just throw it to your 8-year-old, you're like, have fun summoning the devil, kid. Ha you know, but it could still freak you the fuck out. I don't think that demonic possession or attachment could really become an issue with a machine, because here's my feelings on it. If you were to etch a Ouija board, you are putting thought into it. You're putting will into it. You're putting your intentions into it.
Slit your fucking finger, throw a little blood in there.
If you will, like, cut a goat's neck open and throw it on the board while speaking Latin backwards or some shit.
I don't think you need to do Latin backwards. Maybe play Led Zeppelin backwards, but Latin, I think we're good to just play it straight. Say it straight.
But I think that the mass-produced games, I think that they will fuck with you, but I don't really think that anything dangerous will come of it. That's why I'm willing to kind of provoke a little bit, try to get something going.
I'm gonna tell them your name for sure.
I mean, we don't have to do all that or anything, but like that 1905 thing that I saw I believe it was Those Were the Days in Warrensburg. It was $200, and I was contemplating it hard. I was like, I'm gonna get this bitch. I'm never gonna touch it. I'm gonna put a lock on the case.
See, I used to have a Ouija board. I don't know what the hell happened to it. I think I finally got rid of it. I don't know how.
I know you attempted several times, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I kept coming back
when it's not yours.
Yeah, I kept coming back, which they say that. But I think somebody put blood in that, or I don't fucking know.
Ejaculate.
Yeah.
Just for
Is that
fun.
why the fucking thing stuck together when I folded it in half?
Yeah, like a penthouse playout, like sort of situation. Yeah.
Right.
It just kind of stuck together, stuck the pages together.
Yay.
But I believe that's all the time we have for tonight. But keep your eyes peeled. Let us know what you think, guys.
If you got any cool ass, rad ghost stories or whatever, send them in.
Throw them up there.
Yeah.
When we do the live thing, that's kind of why I wanted to do Facebook Live, is because people could type while they watch. And
if you guys remember who we are,
No, well, yeah. So, like, share, comment, all that fun shit, and
We're pretty
will
good
see
about
you later.
answering, so.
Huh?
We're pretty good about answering.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
All right, well, this has been another episode of Drunken Ramblings of a Sober Mind. I'm Jimmy,
I'm Garrin, yo.
and we'll check you later.
Later.